Out of touch with essence. Out of touch with essence.
What I would say, number one, I want to say I think because you alluded to something about like your body and your looks and things like that. I think part of the reason our community in particular of women are over indexing on sex appeal is because they're out of touch with the essence piece, right? Since I don't know how to do exactly what Ja just said, I'm gonna look the part, right? I'm not gonna look like what I've been through, that type of energy. But I think of a woman as like water, right? For multiple reasons. There's a sexual connotation, obviously. You know what I'm saying? But also, like, water is nurturing. Water is life-giving. Life comes from water. Water is also powerful. It can crash. You know, it can mold things. It shaped our planet. And water nurtures plants, right? And I think the metaphor for plants is a man's dream. Right, like what type of man does he want to be? And the right woman will water that seed and potentially help it bear fruit or expedite the process of it bearing fruit. Now, that the wrong type of water can nurture the wrong type of seed, right? Like if you watering an ain't shit nigga, you're just gonna produce more doo-doo, right? You see what I'm saying? So I think, and I said this last week. One of the things that breaks my heart is like a lot of women are out of touch with what their power really is. And the power is really like girl power is really dictating what type of masculinity we see grow and proliferate, right? Not just what men are replicated, what men are cloned literally, but also what type of manhood are we, the female delegation, championing in our decisions, right? Are we championing men who sag their pants? We're going to see more men sag their pants because you're going to have those men's sons, right? And we're also going to inspire the non-sagging men to start sagging their pants because they're seeing that it's successful with women, right? But I think a lot of our sisters, unfortunately, are out of touch with that power, and instead would just like to shout from the rooftop what they wish men were without actually aligning your actions with who you would like men to become.
All right, shout out to my guy Alan right there. We need to talk. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to his channel. Thank you for providing this content for us to be able to discuss today. Out of touch with essence. Out of touch with essence. Go to you first, Kasey. What are your thoughts about that?
I wanted to think a little bit more on it, but I'll say something and then you can come back to me. There's a couple different angles that I can kind of take from what he was saying. I do believe that as women as a whole, especially within our community, that we are out of touch with our essence. We are out of touch with our God-given purposes and things and gifts that are within us. And y'all kind of touched on this. I was telling you about King Talk. Y'all really touched on this on Tuesday about, you know, what women have internally in them. But it's not that focus to nurture those gifts and those things that we have within us. It's more of I am in competition with, I hate to use the word competition, but I want to align myself with what men are doing, right? I want to be the provider. I want to be able to take care of my home by myself. I want to be able to get all the degrees. I want to be able to, those are the things that in this generation that women are focused on. And those are the things that men don't care about. Men don't care that you have 4 degrees. Men don't care that you are this provider, woman, female. They don't care that you have this name that rings in the street, you know, or rings on social media. But they care about the things that you would bring to their life and some of the things they touched on in the video. So I do feel like what we say we want as a group is out of touch with where our focus is, right? Because if we're in alignment with the things that is innately in us, then it's almost like magnets. We would find mates quicker. We would attract each other and not have all this gender wars that that has been going on, and men need to do this and men need to do that. But what do we need to do as women to align ourselves with our purpose? And it has nothing to do with having children. It has, I mean, that's a piece of it, but because men want children, men want legacy. But before that even comes on the table, men want agreeable women that are going to add to their lives, and also a woman that's going to listen. What is he saying he wants? Y'all touched on that too. What is he saying he wants, or what do men as a collective say that they want in a woman? And if you are looking for a man or for a mate, you should be listening to men that you find attractive or that you find to be a suitable male. What are they saying? It's very simple. When you go to college, you find out what your ACT or SAT score needs to be. You study, you find out what those scholarship guidelines are. You line yourself up with every single thing, the universities that you're looking at. You zero in on and say, this is how I need to get myself together for this. I need to have that. I need to pass this test. That's I'm from Texas or I'm from Louisiana or whatever, but I want to go to school here. This school requires this test because it's in this state. All these things that women are good at, we remove all of that when it comes to finding a mate. And that's how we're out of touch. We're out of touch because we've taken our eyes off the ball. I'll land it there.
I'm gonna go to voice. Out of touch with us.
I think pretty much what the guy was saying, to go back into the clip, pretty much is you are what you attract. That's pretty much like to sum up what he's saying. Because if you walk in a place, it's all about, you ever hear a guy say, okay, you dress in a certain way and that's what you attract. You're going to attract the guys with the sagging pants, the chains around their neck, might have been to jail a couple of times because they like that, what is it called, like bad, quote unquote, bad bitch look with the big boobs and the big butts and the body shapes. So it's all a standard of beauty nowadays. We are what we attract. So if you got that kind of body, well, what most women think, if you have that type of body, it'll attract a high value man in some type of way because your looks. So when we talk about values and substance, it's not just about your looks all the time, because they do want to know what Miss what she said at the top. I'm sorry, I didn't say her name right at the top. What she was saying earlier about what's between your ears, the brain. Okay, like most men don't really want to hear about your accomplishments and stuff like that, because that really makes a man feel some type of way. I'm going to tell y'all women that they do not want to hear about how good you're doing or how much better you feel like you're doing than him, because in some type of way that's kind of attacking his manhood and attacking his masculinity in some types of ways, and men don't like that. So they really don't want to hear about your accolades for that type of reason, so forth. I think so. That's just my opinion. I think that's the reason why they don't want to hear about that. They more want to know what can you do to add to them. And that's what that what do you bring to the table line comes from, and all of that stuff. You are what you attract. I feel like whatever you put out there is what you're going to get back. So if I'm dressed in a certain way and I got the boobs and the butt out and the tiny waist, then I might attract those rappers and the guys that got those fancy cars, but they might not be the most loyal guys. But if I'm maybe dressed up to a turtleneck to my neck and got some low, long pants on, I might attract a fellow that might come from a office building or a law office or something like that. It's all in how you present yourself that attracts that. So when we're out of touch with essence, I guess it's meaning the standard of whatever you think would catch somebody's attention to get them. And I think that most women focus on the standard of beauty more than they do with the inside of them and who they actually are.